speaker is going to blow your mind. If you don't know who Lisa Loud is, you're about to get to know who Lisa Loud is. Lisa Loud is the executive director of Secret Network Foundation. Give Lisa a round of applause. Woo! Yeah, Lisa.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Let me ask you something. You ever feel like someone is watching your every move? And I'm not talking about your cat. And I'm not talking about that suspicious pigeon who's sitting outside your window. Although this one looks pretty suspicious, I gotta admit. Today we're talking about privacy, and I am Lisa Loud. I'm the executive director of Secret Network. I've been at PayPal and Apple for many years, working on blockchain the last 6 years, trying to make the world a better place because of blockchain technology. And I'm thrilled to see all you guys here today. It's a full house. Happy to have everybody here. So it's interesting, right, that in the old days, archaeology looked at our footprints that were thousands of years old. And today, our footprints are just minutes or seconds old, and they carry the same weight. So what is it about that? Oh, it looks like I'm hitting things here. Okay, yeah. We don't want to have a life that is totally open to the world. So I'm talking to you, if you are a company, if you are a founder, if you are a creator, or if you're just a consumer, this affects all of us. Privacy is very important for all of us to consider. Celebrities know, I think this is the most important conversation we're having in Web3 today. But let me tell you, celebrities know what I'm talking about because every move they make, everything they do, someone takes note. So they have this problem. Imagine if you had this life. Imagine if everywhere you went in the world, someone was watching what you did. You went and got a large, extra large fries at the fast food joint. Someone takes note of that. You go and buy something at the pharmacy. Someone knows what you bought at the pharmacy yesterday. And I know you're thinking, what did I buy at the pharmacy? Would I want everyone to know about that? I don't think so. And the problem, the worst part about this, is that we can't even take a day off. This follows us into our houses. In the digital age, we have no ability to turn this off. It's every day, all the time. So think of blockchain like that nosy neighbor that you know that lives down the street. They're always peeking through the curtain and they're always jotting down notes. So they're like Ms. Chain. In blockchain, Ms. Chain takes note of every digital action you take and she writes it on her ledger. Ooh, Alice just sent 0.3 Bitcoins to Bob. What's going on, Alice? Is there something we should know about that? We call it the gossip chain. But it's not just about being nosy. When we're talking about privacy, every action you take being recorded, it changes your life. Let's say you get shoes. You get shoes at the store and online, and everyone in town knows what shoes you bought, and they copy you. Or let's say you buy digital art, or you sign a digital contract with your signature. Everyone knows what contract you signed. Your fingerprints are being permanently etched into our digital universe. Think about that for a second. I mean, transparency is great, right? Transparency is amazing. When you're talking about an honest conversation, it's good. And if you have one of those glass bottom kayaks, you know, where you can see all the fish underneath, isn't that awesome? But it's not so awesome when we're talking about our personal data. It's not so great when we're talking about our online behavior or our favorite brands. And I'm sure you've all had the experience with the ads. I was in a meeting the other day, last week, with my colleague, and suddenly he says, I have to leave. My cat just got out. I gotta go find her. So, guess what? A couple hours later, what do I see popping up on my computer? very specific ads about cat locator collars. Like, that's too specific to be a coincidence, right? And by the way, he did find his cat. I know you're worried, so. So, have you ever had somebody have a surprise party and they found out about it before the surprise because they shared a calendar with you, or they found out what present you were going to give them because they looked at your online search history? These problems become much more intense when we're talking about blockchain. They're everywhere. So we're not just talking about splurges, like if an embarrassing splurge or where you spent too much. This is more than that. We're talking about extreme transparency, which can turn into surveillance. It can turn into tracking, like this guy. It can turn into security threats. Have you ever been unnerved when someone on social media or one of your friends mentions, hey, I know where you had lunch because of an online social media check-in? It happens. But imagine how much worse it would be if it was your financial data. There are times when, let's say you have a salary and your coworker finds out what you're making. Next thing you know, you're called into your boss's office and she's like, why are you sharing confidential information? You're not supposed to talk about that stuff. But I didn't, it was the blockchain. Or maybe if you're a company, you're doing a price test, right? A-B. So group A gets one price, group B gets another price. If group A finds out that group B has a 50% discount, how valid are your results going to be? You really have to throw that whole test out. And that's one of thousands of business cases where you need a certain amount of confidentiality just to make the process work. So I'm really talking to brands and companies right here when I'm talking about the importance of building with privacy. Things can get much darker if you let your customers' data leak, and that can lead to identity theft or fraud, all sorts of bad things. So imagine a world where your dreams, what you read, what you think about is dictated or suggested to you by someone who thinks they know better than you what's good for you. It's a scary thought. It's about who controls your narrative and who controls your autonomy. These are serious concepts that we need to start thinking about and that we're not really paying attention to right now because we take privacy for granted. But that's not the case in the future. Imagine if your childhood diary was published. Every single page was online and anyone could read it. Think about how that would feel. Vulnerable, open, that's what it feels like to lose your privacy. But there's a beacon of hope. I'll let you read this one because I think that's cute. But there's a beacon of hope. A hero is coming to the rescue. There's technologies like confidential computing and like Secret Network, the platform that promotes privacy and is built on privacy. You can see a lot of different use cases for privacy here that are built on Secret Network, which is what I am leading right now. And that way, your secrets can stay secret and you can share the keys with only the people that you trust. It's a much better use of blockchain, a much better world view, future view. All right, so friends, remember that blockchain is coming. There's no way we can stop it. And instead of if you think that you have nothing to hide, well, a lot of say, what does it matter, I have nothing to hide. Well, Glenn Greenwald has proven that even the people who say that, I don't care about privacy, do not believe it, because they take many actions to make sure that their privacy is protected. Our behavior changes when we think we're being watched. It's a human trait. And we actually change our behavior to match the expectations of who we think is watching us. If that's not a scary concept, I don't know what is. So mass surveillance suppresses many of our rights, and we should all care about it. We all have to care about, having nothing to hide, but actually keeping our privacy. Because we don't want to be dancing to someone else's music. We want to be dancing to our own beat, in our own way. All right. Blockchain is coming. Companies need to build with blockchain privacy as the very foundational layer, so that when their customers' data is in their hands, their customers feel like they can trust them. They build that loyalty, build that respect, and they keep those customers for a long time. It's not about hiding. It's about choosing where and when to shine our light. I hope that we can venture forth into this new digital age, this digital decentralized age, and not leave footprints that are too deep to be erased. Let's ensure that our digital footprint reflects our individuality and our freedom. May you always dance to your own rhythm and always choose how your own story unfolds. Join the conversation. We are a nonprofit. We educate people about privacy, the need for it, and how to implement it. We invite you to join our conversation, join our community, and we look forward to getting to know you better. Thank you.